Before watching this video, please follow EAS North Carolina 19's guidelines on not being a jackass. This includes being mindful of where and how you view this video to avoid disrupting others. The presentation you're about to watch is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to real events, people, or locations is purely coincidental and not intended to reflect real life. Emergency Alert System, EAS, warning. This video contains valid emergency alert system tones. If misused on real EAS equipment or AM radio, these tones could trigger the actual emergency alert system. Unauthorized activations are federal offenses, punishable by fines ranging from $20,000 to $1 million and imprisonment from 6 months to 5 years. EAS North Carolina 19 is not responsible for any misuse. Please don't be reckless. Volume warning. This video contains loud sounds that can cause hearing damage. If you're using headphones or high volume, adjust accordingly. Loud noises may also disturb those with noise sensitivity or neurological conditions like ADHD or autism spectrum disorder. Content warning. The video includes sensitive topics such as strong language, self-harm, war, terrorism, violence, horror, torture, blood, animal cruelty, and death. Viewer discretion is advised, and those sensitive to these topics should consider skipping certain scenes. Photosensitivity warning. This video may include flashing lights that can trigger seizures for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Please proceed with caution if you're affected. Copyright notice. This video is the property of EAS North Carolina 19. Unauthorized reproduction or re-uploading without permission can result in legal action, including a DMCA strike. Respect copyright laws and avoid infringement. By watching this video, you acknowledge these warnings and accept full responsibility for any consequences. EAS North Carolina 19 is not liable for any damages. Please enjoy the video responsibly, and remember, don't be a jackass.
Good afternoon. We are live in Washington, D.C., where President Donald J. Trump is being inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States, beginning his second term in office. It's a historic moment as President Trump returns to the White House after a highly contested election against Kamala Harris. The swearing-in ceremony is underway, and we'll have full coverage throughout the day. Meanwhile, there are rumors and speculation circulating about the possibility of a deadlier pandemic emerging later this year. However, let me stress, as of right now, there is no virus actively threatening the US or the world. Health officials have confirmed that, while there are concerns about future outbreaks, there is no immediate danger. We'll keep you informed with updates on this situation, but for now, the focus remains on today's inauguration and what lies ahead for the Trump administration's second term. Stay tuned for more coverage. Good evening. We have just witnessed the conclusion of President Donald J. Trump's inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. As the nation looks ahead to the next 4 years, a bizarre and completely unfounded report has surfaced online claiming that demons will attack Columbus, Ohio, in February 2025. These sensational claims have been dismissed as entirely false by local authorities and health officials. There is no credible evidence to support these allegations, and experts are urging the public not to engage with this misinformation. As the Trump administration begins its second term, it's vital to focus on real issues that impact our communities and nation. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates from Washington and beyond. Stay tuned for more coverage.
Good evening, Columbus. Welcome to NBC4, your source for the latest news, sports, entertainment, traffic, and weather in the Columbus metropolitan area. I'm Paul, and today is February 24, 2025. Outside, it's 45 degrees with partly cloudy skies, so keep those jackets handy if you're heading out tonight. Let's dive into the world of sports. Last night, the Columbus Blue Jackets secured a commanding 5-0 victory over the New York Rangers. This win brings their season record to 19-29-9. The Jackets will hit the ice again on February 25, facing the Dallas Stars at Nationwide Arena with puck drop at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They'll also take on the Detroit Red Wings on the road on February 27, before the highly anticipated NHL Stadium Series matchup. Mark your calendars for March 1, when our Blue Jackets will face the Red Wings again, but this time at Ohio Stadium, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes. The puck drops at 9 p.m., don't miss it. In college basketball, the Ohio State Buckeyes are preparing for a showdown against their longtime rivals, the Michigan Wolverines. This is a pivotal game for both teams as they vie for a higher seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Buckeye Nation, let's pack the Schottenstein Center tonight and bring the energy. Hold on. We're receiving some odd reports. Apparently, there are rumors swirling about demons attacking Earth in the next few days. Yes, you heard that right, demons. Now, I've been in this business long enough to know that we've seen this kind of story before, and it never amounts to anything. So let's just say it. Demons don't exist, at least not in the way these stories claim. I'll be honest with you all. I became a born-again Christian in 1995, and my faith has been a source of strength for me. I do believe in good and evil, but I also believe in reason, faith, and facts to guide us. So, while it's easy to get caught up in wild rumors, let's focus on the real issues that affect us here in Columbus. There are enough challenges, keeping our community safe, supporting each other, and working toward a better future for our kids, that deserve our attention far more than baseless claims. Now, moving on to traffic, we've got some congestion on I-270 eastbound near the Gahanna exit, likely due to an earlier accident. I-70 westbound near downtown is also backed up, so if you're headed that way, expect delays or consider alternate routes. And remember to drive safely, especially with temperatures set to drop tonight, which could cause slick spots on the roads. Additionally, there's a power outage affecting the Clintonville area, with several traffic signals out due to downed power lines. Crews are working hard to restore power, but please be cautious and treat all intersections as four-way stops. In breaking news, we're following a developing story downtown. A three-alarm fire has broken out at a warehouse near the Scioto River, just after 5 p.m. Fire crews are on the scene, battling the blaze. No injuries have been reported so far, but authorities are urging everyone to avoid the area as emergency personnel work to control the situation. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. Let's keep those affected in our thoughts tonight, and hope for the swift resolution of this dangerous situation. When we return, we'll have your weekend weather forecast, including a potential cold front that could bring wintry conditions to Columbus. Plus, don't miss our story on a local teacher who's just been nationally recognized for her incredible work in education. Stay tuned, this is NBC4 Columbus. We'll be right back after this break.
The following message is transmitted by the request of the Columbus Public Health Department. As of 7:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hospitals across the city of Columbus and surrounding areas are experiencing an alarming surge of patients presenting symptoms of an unknown virus. Currently, health officials estimate that between 150 to 250 individuals have been infected. However, these numbers may rise as more cases are being reported. The symptoms associated with this virus include, but are not limited to, persistent coughing, sneezing, nausea, high fever, chills, headache, vomiting, extreme fatigue, and muscle aches. As of now, the methods of transmission, incubation period, and the virus's mortality rate remain unknown. Public health officials are working around the clock to identify the source of the virus, determine how it spreads, and assess the potential risks to the public. In light of this developing health emergency, the Columbus Public Health Department is taking immediate action to implement the following guidelines and restrictions. These measures are designed to slow the spread of the virus and protect the health of the community. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap and hot water for at least 30 seconds, particularly after returning from outdoor areas, after touching your face, eyes, mouth, or nose, and after using the restroom. Hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol can be used if soap and water are not available. Stay away from anyone showing signs of illness, particularly those displaying the aforementioned symptoms. Even casual contact, such as shaking hands or touching shared surfaces, can potentially lead to transmission. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth, as these are common entry points for viruses. Practice mindfulness when handling food or objects in public places. Regularly clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces, such as doorknobs, counters, phones, and other commonly used items. Disinfectant wipes or cleaning sprays should be used regularly throughout the day. If you need to cough or sneeze, do so into a tissue or your elbow, not your hands, to prevent the spread of respiratory droplets. Dispose of tissues immediately and wash your hands afterward. Avoid crowded areas, public spaces, and large gatherings. The virus may spread rapidly in densely populated environments, so it's crucial to maintain at least 6 feet of distance from others, especially in public or enclosed spaces. If you or a loved one begin to experience any of the symptoms mentioned, coughing, fever, chills, or fatigue, seek medical attention immediately. However, due to the overwhelming number of patients, some hospitals may be at capacity and unable to admit more individuals at this time. If a hospital is unable to take new patients, please consult your primary care doctor or visit an urgent care clinic for further guidance and treatment. The Columbus Public Health Department urges all citizens to stay informed and remain calm. Officials are working tirelessly to gather more information about the virus, its transmission, and effective methods for containment. As new details emerge, they will be communicated through trusted local news outlets and official channels. To protect yourself and others, please follow these health guidelines rigorously until further notice. Furthermore, public facilities such as schools, community centers, and certain businesses may implement additional restrictions in the coming days to limit public interaction and reduce the risk of exposure. Everyone's cooperation is necessary to prevent the further spread of this virus. Please stay tuned to local news stations, radio broadcasts, or online resources for further updates as more information becomes available on this developing situation.
This is an NBC4 News Update. Good evening, Columbus. This is Paul Richardson, with a breaking news update. As of 7:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Columbus Public Health Department has reported a surge of patients flooding local hospitals with symptoms linked to an unknown virus. Currently, between 150 to 250 individuals are believed to be infected, with more cases expected in the coming hours. Symptoms include severe coughing, sneezing, nausea, high fever, chills, headaches, vomiting, fatigue, and muscle aches. The virus is rapidly spreading, but health officials are still investigating how it's transmitted and how severe the situation may become. The Columbus Public Health Department has implemented emergency public health guidelines to protect the community, effective immediately and until further notice. All residents are advised to wash your hands frequently for at least 30 seconds with soap and hot water, especially after touching your face, mouth, or using the restroom. Avoid close contact with anyone who appears ill. Refrain from touching your face, particularly your mouth, eyes, and nose. Regularly disinfect surfaces in your home and workplace. If you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with a tissue or your arm, not your hands. Maintain a safe distance from others, especially if they're not in your household. Stay away from crowded areas and large gatherings to limit exposure. If you or a loved one is experiencing symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Please be aware that hospitals may be at full capacity and may not accept new patients. If that is the case, visit a primary care doctor or urgent care center for further assistance. The Columbus Public Health Department will continue to monitor this developing situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. We urge all residents to remain calm, stay informed, and follow the health guidelines provided to prevent the spread of this virus. We continue with breaking news regarding the health emergency unfolding across Columbus. For more details on the situation, we go live to our correspondent Raymond Thompson, who is currently outside the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Raymond, what's the latest from your end?
Thank you, Paul. I'm standing here outside the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, where officials are dealing with a significant surge in patients due to what health authorities are describing as an unknown virus. The medical center, like many others across the city, has been operating at near full capacity as more people arrive displaying symptoms of this virus. Health workers are stretched thin, and some patients are being diverted to other medical facilities across the region. The situation is rapidly evolving, and officials here are scrambling to manage the influx of patients. Doctors have described symptoms that range from severe coughing and high fever to vomiting and extreme fatigue. But right now, they still do not have definitive answers about how this virus is spreading or how it originated. Health Commissioner Roger McMasters is expected to make a statement shortly to provide more insight into what the city is doing to handle this health crisis and what steps the public should take to stay safe. He'll also be addressing concerns about hospital capacity and whether we could see further restrictions implemented as this outbreak progresses. The commissioner is scheduled to speak in just a few minutes, and we'll bring you his comments live. We've spoken to some of the medical staff here at Wexner Medical Center, and they've described an extremely dire situation. I spoke with one nurse who said they've been receiving patients non-stop since late this afternoon. She described the atmosphere inside as chaotic as doctors try to keep up with the sheer volume of cases coming in. One key concern is that hospitals might not have enough resources or staff to handle this crisis if the number of cases continues to rise at this pace. I'm also hearing that makeshift triage units may be set up to handle overflow from the emergency room, and that non-critical surgeries and procedures are being postponed to free up beds for those who are most severely affected by this virus. Right now, the main message from health authorities is to avoid coming to hospitals unless you're experiencing serious symptoms, and instead consult your primary care doctor for guidance. They are urging the public to remain calm and to follow the health guidelines that have been set forth by the Columbus Public Health Department, including frequent hand washing, avoiding crowded places, and staying away from individuals who appear sick. As we await Commissioner McMaster's statement, there's a growing sense of urgency here at the medical center. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this situation unfolds. Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Raymond. It sounds like the situation here in Columbus is becoming more concerning by the minute. We'll continue to monitor the events at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center and bring you live coverage of Health Commissioner Roger McMaster's press briefing as soon as it begins. For those just tuning in, Columbus is currently dealing with a sudden outbreak of an unknown virus, and hospitals across the area are under immense strain as the number of infected patients grows. Health officials are advising residents to take necessary precautions and to stay informed as new details emerge. Once again, we urge you to stay tuned here on NBC4, as we'll bring you live coverage of the Commissioner's address and any additional updates on this developing story. Stay tuned to NBC4 and our online platforms for ongoing updates on this health crisis. This has been an NBC4 News Update. I'm Paul Richardson, or Paul. Stay safe, Columbus.
Good evening, Columbus. My name is Roger McMasters, and I serve as the Commissioner for the Columbus Public Health Department. I'm here to address the serious situation that has developed in our city over the past few hours regarding a sudden and concerning outbreak of an unknown virus. Roughly 45 minutes ago, we received reports that multiple hospitals across Columbus have become overwhelmed with patients exhibiting a range of similar symptoms. These symptoms include severe coughing, sneezing, congestion, vomiting, nausea, high fever, chills, muscle pain, body aches, and extreme fatigue. In more severe cases, individuals have experienced shortness of breath and pneumonia, which can be fatal if left untreated. As of 8 p.m. this evening, our health experts have gathered the following critical information regarding the virus. The virus is transmitted through respiratory droplets, airborne particles, and contact with contaminated surfaces. The incubation period ranges from 3 to 4 days after exposure. The virus appears to have a mortality rate of approximately 0.5%. Those most at risk are the elderly, young children, and individuals with pre-existing medical conditions. So far, tragically, 9 people have lost their lives due to this virus. The exact origin of the virus remains unknown at this time. The World Health Organization, WHO, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, have officially named this virus the Demon Infestation Epidemic 666, or DI 666 for short. While the name may sound alarming, let me be clear, this virus has no connection to any supernatural beings or events. Earlier rumors circulating about demons attacking the city are completely unfounded and false. Demons do not exist in the way these stories have suggested. As a Christian myself, I understand the fear that may arise in times like these. But let me assure you, we are guided by science, reason, and faith. I have faith that we can overcome this, and I believe our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ will provide strength and protection for us all. In the meantime, it is our responsibility to protect one another by following the health guidelines I am about to outline.
Effective immediately, the following public health measures will be in place across Columbus and the surrounding areas, lasting until further notice or until the virus is properly contained. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap and hot water for at least 30 seconds, especially after being outside or touching your face. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, nose, or face. Maintain a safe distance from others, particularly from those who are visibly sick. Avoid physical contact such as handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, and hugs. Refrain from sharing items with others unless they've been properly sanitized. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue or into your arm, not your hands. Avoid large gatherings and crowded spaces whenever possible. If you or someone in your household believes they are infected, quarantine for 7 to 10 days to prevent the virus from spreading further. For those who are experiencing severe symptoms, such as difficulty breathing or high fever, seek medical attention immediately. Hospitals are currently experiencing a high volume of patients, so if the nearest hospital is full, visit your primary care doctor or an urgent care facility for assistance. We urge those most vulnerable, such as the elderly or individuals with underlying health conditions, to stay home as much as possible and wear a mask when outside. These steps are crucial in reducing the spread of this virus and ensuring the safety of our community. If we act now, we can slow the spread of this virus, protect the people of Columbus, and support our healthcare system. Together, we can overcome this. Let's pray for healing and strength for those affected, and let's unite as a community to do what is necessary. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all. Stay safe and good night.
From the Elk and Elk Studios. Elk and Elk, dedicated to every client, every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
WODC-FM, Asheville, Columbus.
Christmas in Columbus is on 93.3 The Buzz.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Ohio Health Department and the Columbus Police Department. The virus, known as Demon Infestation Epidemic 666, or DIE 666, which has been rapidly spreading across Columbus over the last 24 to 48 hours, has mutated, leading to more severe symptoms in infected individuals. These newly observed symptoms include bleeding from the orifices, coughing or vomiting blood, difficulty breathing, swelling that does not respond to treatment, severe shortness of breath, dehydration, pale skin, paranoia and psychosis, sensitivity to light, anxiety and delirium, necrosis and scarring across the body, reddening, yellowing, or blackening of the eyes, and in some cases, irritability, violent or aggressive behavior in some cases, Patients have also fallen into comas. The mortality rate has increased dramatically to 45%, with many deaths resulting from complete organ failure. As of now, approximately 3,000 cases have been reported in Columbus, with additional cases emerging in nearby towns and cities, including Dublin, Westerville, Gahanna, Reynoldsburg, Grove City, Hilliard, New Albany, Upper Arlington, Worthington, Bexley, Groveport, Canal Winchester, Lewis Center, and Pickerington. The Columbus Police Department has also reported that some infected individuals have displayed suicidal tendencies and other uncontrollable behaviors. Almost all hospital beds in the city are at capacity, and many hospitals are no longer accepting new patients. Given these developments and the anticipated rise in cases, Mayor Andrew Ginther has issued a mandatory shelter-in-place order for all Columbus residents, effective immediately and lasting until further notice. This applies to all residents, regardless of health status. Please follow these critical instructions. Stay inside your homes. Close all doors and windows. And turn off any heating or air conditioning units to prevent the virus from entering your home. Do not go outside unless it is an absolute emergency. Anyone who ventures outdoors is putting themselves at severe risk of contracting the virus. Residents are only allowed to leave their homes for essential purposes, going to work, if deemed essential, visiting grocery stores or convenience stores for essential supplies, food, drinks, medication, etc. Outdoor exercise, while maintaining social distancing, and providing necessary assistance to family members or relatives in need. Non-essential businesses such as barbershops, salons, restaurants, except for carry-out and delivery, bars, theaters, fitness centers, spas, museums, bowling alleys, shopping malls, airports, and sports concert venues are closed until further notice. Schools will remain closed, and remote learning will be implemented for all students. Furthermore, all flights departing from John Glenn Columbus International Airport, Rickenbacker International Airport, and the Ohio State University Airport have been canceled. Incoming flights to these airports are being diverted to nearby alternatives. If you must leave your home for any of the above reasons, please wear a mask, preferably an N95, to reduce the risk of contracting the virus. If you or a loved one becomes infected with DIE 666, immediately seek medical attention if possible. However, due to overcrowded hospitals, it is advised to quarantine at home for 7 to 14 days if no hospital care is available. Stay tuned to local news outlets for further information on the situation.
Once again, my name is... Good afternoon, Columbus, Ohio. Once again, my name is Roger McMasters, the Commissioner for the Columbus Department of Public Health. I am here today to speak about a significant and troubling development regarding the virus demon infestation epidemic 666, or DIE 666, that has been rapidly spreading throughout the city over the past 24 hours. We have now discovered that the virus has mutated into a more dangerous form, with new severe symptoms emerging in infected patients. These symptoms include, but are not limited to, bleeding from the orifices, coughing or vomiting blood, difficulty breathing, swelling that remains untreated, severe shortness of breath, dehydration, pale skin, paranoia, psychosis, and sensitivity to light, anxiety, delirium, and necrosis, scarring on various parts of the body, reddening, yellowing, or blackening of the eyes, irritability, violent or aggressive behavior. It has also been reported that some patients have fallen into comas. Additionally, the mortality rate of DIE 666 has now risen to 45.5%, and there have been around 930 confirmed deaths, most of which are caused by complete organ failure. Alarmingly, many of these individuals were previously in perfect health and had not experienced any underlying medical conditions. Currently, we estimate there are 3,000 cases within the city of Columbus alone, with cases also spreading to nearby towns and cities such as Dublin, Westerville, Gahanna, Reynoldsburg, Grove City, Hilliard, New Albany, Upper Arlington, Worthington, Bexley, Groveport, Canal Winchester, Lewis Center, and Pickerington. Nearly all hospitals across Columbus are at full capacity, and many are only able to accept a few additional patients. With the situation escalating, I've spoken with Mayor Andrew Ginther, and together we have agreed on the best course of action to prevent further spread of the virus and additional fatalities. Effective immediately, the entire city of Columbus and its surrounding areas are under a mandatory stay-at-home order until further notice. The only reasons to leave your home should be for essential purposes only, including going to work, if essential, visiting family members or relatives who require assistance, exercising, going to grocery or convenience stores for essential items like food, drinks, and medications. Please do not leave your home for non-essential reasons, as doing so could expose you and your family to die 666. Additionally, all non-essential businesses will be closed, including schools, restaurants, theaters, fitness centers, salons, spas, museums, bowling alleys, shopping malls, airports, and sports or concert venues. However, the 2024 to 2025 NHL season for the Columbus Blue Jackets will continue for now, though the NHL may suspend the season if this virus spreads further outside Ohio. Schools and colleges will transition to remote learning, and restaurants and bars will only offer carry-out and delivery services. Additionally, all flights leaving John Glenn Columbus International Airport, Rickenbacker International Airport, and the Ohio State University Airport have been canceled. Incoming flights will be diverted to nearby airports. If you must leave your home, you are required to wear a mask, preferably an N95, as the virus is airborne and spreads through person-to-person contact. Please maintain social distancing at all times. If you or a loved one becomes infected with this virus, seek medical attention immediately if possible. However, many hospitals are unable to accept new patients, so if this is the case, quarantine yourself or your family member for 7 to 14 days. Do not bring them to the hospital unless it is a life-threatening emergency. We believe that the shutdown of Columbus is the best way to prevent more cases, deaths, and hospitalizations. If the virus continues to spread into more areas, stay-at-home orders and further restrictions will be imposed there as well. These are unprecedented times, but we will get through this together. Nearly 4 years ago, we fought COVID-19 from 2020 to 2023. If we could defeat that virus, there is no doubt we will defeat DI 666. Let me also address the false rumors from earlier this year, claims that demons would invade and destroy our city. These rumors are 100% false. As a Christian for all 62 years of my life, I want to assure you that demons do not exist. They are nothing more than mythological creatures of folklore. I stand firm in my faith, knowing that Jesus Christ is by my side, rebuking evil spirits. The demons I speak of are internal, the challenges we face within ourselves. They are not some 9 to 12-foot creatures with horns and wings. That is absolute nonsense. I encourage all of you to pray for our city, for the virus to disappear, and for the health of those suffering. Thank you for listening to this message. Please take care of yourselves, follow the guidelines, and may God protect us all.
Good evening, Columbus. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming with this critical breaking news update. As the outbreak of demon infestation epidemic 666, DI 666, continues to escalate, new information has emerged about the virus's mutation. Earlier this afternoon, Health Commissioner Roger McMaster addressed the public, revealing alarming developments in both the severity of the virus and its spread. In his briefing, McMaster confirmed that DI 666 has undergone a mutation, leading to more severe symptoms in infected individuals. These new symptoms include but are not limited to bleeding from the orifices, nose, ears, and eyes, coughing and vomiting blood, difficulty breathing and severe shortness of breath, swelling that will not go down, even with treatment, paranoia, psychosis, and episodes of violent or aggressive behavior, dehydration, necrosis, and scarring on various parts of the body, reddish, yellowing, or blackening of the eyes, and in some cases, complete loss of vision, and a coma, with some patients not expected to recover. What makes this development even more concerning is the increase in the mortality rate, which now stands at 45.5%, a significant jump from earlier estimates. Health officials have confirmed 930 deaths, and over 3,000 cases have been reported across Columbus and surrounding areas in just the last 24 hours. The virus is proving deadly even to otherwise healthy individuals with no pre-existing conditions. The rapid spread of the virus has reached nearby communities including Dublin, Westerville, Gahanna, Reynoldsburg, Grove City, Hilliard, New Albany, Upper Arlington, Worthington, and Pickerington, causing widespread panic. Hospitals across the region, including major centers like the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, are at or near full capacity, struggling to keep up with the overwhelming number of patients. We now go live to our correspondent, Raymond Thompson, who is reporting directly from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Raymond, how is the situation there? I think we're having a bit of a delay. Raymond, are you there?
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, y'all. I'm standing outside the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, where the situation has become increasingly dreadful. Behind me, the hospital's emergency room is packed to capacity, with ambulances arriving one after another. The medical staff here are working around the clock to treat the flood of patients infected with D666. Many are suffering from the virus's most severe symptoms, including respiratory failure and internal bleeding. I've spoken with doctors inside, and they've described this as one of the worst crises they've ever faced. Patients are being kept in isolation wards, and the hospital is using every available resource to slow the spread within their own facilities. Unfortunately, there are reports that some patients are becoming violent due to delirium and psychotic episodes brought on by the virus, forcing security personnel to intervene in certain cases. Right now, there are also concerns about the hospital's ventilator supply and critical care equipment, as the virus causes rapid deterioration in some patients. Officials here say they are preparing to triage, focusing on saving those who have the best chance of survival. It's a harrowing situation, and it's escalating by the hour. Back to you, Tom, in the studio.
Thank you, Raymond. We'll continue to check in with you throughout the evening. Now, to address these unfolding developments, Mayor Andrew Gindler and Health Commissioner Roger McMasters have announced immediate and sweeping measures to prevent further spread of this deadly virus. Effective immediately, the city of Columbus is under a mandatory stay-at-home order, and all non-essential businesses are to remain closed until further notice. Here's a breakdown of what this means for residents. Stay at home. You are required to remain in your homes unless you are going out for essential purposes, such as seeking medical care, purchasing food, or assisting family members in need. Non-essential businesses, all bars, restaurants, except for takeout and delivery, fitness centers, movie theaters, salons, spas, museums, and shopping malls will be closed. Flights. All flights departing from John Glenn Columbus International Airport, Rickenbacker International Airport, and the Ohio State University Airport are canceled, with incoming flights being diverted to neighboring cities. Schools, public schools, colleges, and universities will transition to remote learning until further notice. Mayor Gindler emphasized that these measures are critical to prevent further spread of the virus, which officials warn could lead to even more fatalities if not controlled. We will keep you updated on this situation. I hope that this virus goes away, but unfortunately, I don't think it's subsiding anytime soon. This is Thomas Snyder, with a breaking news story. following message is transmitted by the request of the Ohio Department of Public Safety. Residents of the Columbus metropolitan area, lock all of your doors and windows immediately, or return to your homes without delay. Authorities have received an overwhelming number of 911 calls, reporting violent, unprovoked attacks across the region. The attackers have been seen physically possessing their victims, and forcing them to commit evil deeds, often shouting satanic rhetoric, and engaging in ritualistic behavior. These individuals display the following disturbing characteristics: rapid growth of fingernails and toenails, an abnormal increase in muscle mass, blackened nails, loss of body hair, and frequent, violent seizures. It is unknown why these attacks are occurring, but authorities suspect a possible link to the demon infestation epidemic 666, DI 666, virus, which has been spreading rapidly across the Columbus metropolitan area over the past 96 hours. At this time, all residents are strongly advised to remain indoors with all doors and windows securely locked. If an attacker enters your home, use any necessary means of defense, including deadly force. These individuals are extremely dangerous. Do not allow strangers or suspicious individuals inside your home under any circumstances. Hospitals in the region are at capacity and cannot accept more patients at this time. If you or a family member is infected, enter a strict quarantine lasting between 7 to 14 days. If you witness any strange or aggressive behavior in others, call 911 and report them to local law enforcement immediately. Stay tuned to local media outlets for further updates on this dangerous and unprecedented situation.
Good evening, Columbus. I'm Rachel Donovan, reporting on the latest developments in the demon infestation epidemic 666 crisis, also known as DIE 666, which has taken a dark and increasingly violent turn across the Columbus metropolitan area. Before diving into today's tragic events, we would like to once again address the disturbing incident that occurred during our February 26th broadcast, where a demonic laugh interrupted our live coverage. We understand the anxiety this hack has caused and want to assure you that law enforcement and cybersecurity experts are actively investigating this malicious intrusion. While there is no direct connection between the hack and the virus, it has certainly added to the growing fear across the city. Now to the latest. Over the past 24 hours, 911 centers in the Columbus metropolitan region have been inundated with calls, reporting a surge of violent attacks that seem to be linked to the DIE 666 virus. Law enforcement agencies have described the attackers as showing bizarre and terrifying symptoms, including possession-like behavior, where individuals appear to be controlled by an unseen force, demanding evil deeds from victims, while shouting satanic rhetoric and performing disturbing rituals. Physical transformations, including rapid growth of fingernails and toenails, darkening of these nails to black, increased muscle mass, severe epileptic seizures, and a complete loss of body hair. Several victims have reported being attacked without provocation, often by neighbors, co-workers, or even strangers. Officials are warning that these violent outbursts may be tied directly to the mutated DIE 666 virus, but the exact cause remains unknown at this time. Despite their best efforts, the Ohio Department of Public Safety and the Ohio Department of Health are struggling to understand why this horrific phenomenon is happening. We have Raymond Thompson, who has lived back at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Raymond, what's happening over there?
Thank you, Rachel. Good evening. This is Raymond Thompson, reporting live from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, where the atmosphere is Newton short of horrifying and chaotic. Over the last 24 hours, the situation here has escalated beyond anything anyone could have predicted. The demon infestation epidemic. 666, Diam 666, has taken a terrifying new turn, with eyewitness accounts coming in from across the city of violent and disturbing attacks. Attacks that are increasingly difficult to explain in scientific or medical terms. I've spoken with medical staff, patients, and frightened bystanders, and the details they've shared with me are nothing short of chilling. According to doctors inside the medical center, they've encountered patients exhibiting aggressive and supernatural-like behaviors that defy all logic. One nurse, who wished to remain anonymous, described seeing a patient with blackened eyes, long, sharp nails, and what appeared to be unnatural strength. "It's not just a virus anymore," she said, her voice shaking. "It's something else, something we can't explain." Outside the hospital, eyewitnesses have reported seeing grotesque transformations in individuals before they attack. Some even describe hearing demonic growls and witnessing ritualistic behaviors. A security guard told me he saw a man in the parking lot collapse into seizures, only to rise minutes later, his eyes glowing red, shouting incomprehensible satanic chants. Another bystander claimed to see a group of people performing a ritual near the hospital's entrance, chanting and drawing pentagrams on the ground with their blood. As of now, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is overwhelmed. Hospital beds are full, and the medical staff is working under extreme pressure, unable to accommodate the growing number of severely ill and violent patients. Security measures have been increased, but there is a palpable sense of dread here, as though something much darker is lurking behind these attacks. Disturbingly, #Demon Attacking Earth continues to trend on X, formerly Twitter, where thousands of people are now speculating that these events are more than just a viral outbreak. Many are posting videos, sharing eyewitness reports, and offering theories that actual demons might be among us. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures following the infected, while others report strange, unearthly sounds in their neighborhoods late at night. One viral post reads, "This isn't a virus, this is an invasion. The gates of hell have opened." I spoke with a group of students from the Ohio State University who had gathered outside the medical center, too terrified to go back to their dorms. One of them, a young man who had seen one of his friends fall victim to the virus, told me, "I don't know what's happening, but this isn't normal. It's like people are being taken over, like they're not themselves anymore." Several doctors, visibly shaken, have told me they are at a loss for words. One physician remarked, "I've been in the medical field for 30 years, and I've never seen anything like this. This is beyond medicine. It feels like something from another world." Amid the chaos, reports from law enforcement and public health officials have confirmed that violent attacks are spreading across the Columbus metropolitan area. These disturbing reports include not only descriptions of satanic rituals and possessions, but also the physical transformations that many are now associating with demonic influence. People describe attackers with elongated black nails, bulging muscles, shaved skin, and voices that don't sound human. It's clear that the DIE 666 virus is unlike anything we've encountered before, and the unsettling behaviors associated with it are now leading many, including myself, to question whether this is something more than just a disease. Is it possible that we are facing something supernatural? At this point, there are no clear answers. But one thing is certain, the fear is real. The terror on people's faces, the panic in their voices. This is no longer just a health crisis. This is something far more sinister. We will continue to bring you updates as we try to uncover the truth behind these horrific events. For now, this is Raymond Thompson, reporting from Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, reminding you to stay safe, stay indoors, and stay vigilant. Let's hope that these nightmarish reports are nothing more than panic and fear. But with everything happening, I can't shake the feeling that actual demons might be on the horizon.
Thank you, Raymond. Please stay safe out there. If you witness any suspicious or aggressive behavior, authorities are recommending that you stay indoors, lock your doors and windows, and avoid direct confrontation. Use extreme caution if you must leave your home for essential reasons, and always wear protective gear. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as they come in. In these uncertain times, please take all recommended precautions and look out for your loved ones. This is Rachel Donovan for NBC4 News. Stay safe, Columbus.
WXZX Hilliard
Is the new Columbus alternative, 105.7.
Everything Alternative, an iHeartRadio station.
I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high, just like a dragonfly. I'd fly above the trees, over the seas, in all degrees, to anywhere I please. Oh, I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go and see the stars, the Milky Way, or even Mars, where it could just be ours. Let's fade into the sun, let your spirit fly, we'll be our one.
The following message is transmitted by the request of the Ohio Department of Public Safety and the Ohio Department of Health. It has been confirmed that the violent entities terrorizing civilians across the Columbus metropolitan area are, in fact, demons. These creatures are attacking and killing anyone in their path, causing widespread destruction, injuries, and fatalities across the metropolitan region. The demons possess the following characteristics: horns on their heads, wings on their backs, garnet, scarlet, crimson, or red skin, visible veins, yellow, black, or red pupils, increased strength and agility, stand around 9 to 12 feet tall, massive muscle mass, extreme anger and resistance to gunfire, shape-shifting, telekinesis, invisibility, dark malevolent auras, infectious presence, rapid regeneration, possession, and control of fire and darkness, affinity with death, and an aversion to holy symbols, and deepened voices and hysterical evil laughter. The creatures have been confirmed as a direct result of the virus demon infestation epidemic 666, Die 666, which has spread across the Columbus area over the last 5 days. The demons can only be killed using the following methods: showing them a crucifix, pouring running water and or holy water at it, blessed weapons wielded by priests or monks, exorcism, and chanting sacred texts, such as the power of Christ compels you, silver weapons like swords or daggers, purifying fire, and holy light, sunlight, decapitation using weapons with holy or magical enhancements. Be advised that these demons brutally kill their victims in various ways, including strangulation, crushing, and piercing with horns, clawing and slashing victims to death, burning alive, supernatural blows, and possession, driving victims to insanity, suicide, or violent acts. If you are attacked and clawed or slashed, you have only 5 minutes before symptoms begin, followed by transformation into a demon after another 5 minutes. If this happens, immediate suicide is recommended, as you will be overtaken with no control over your body. Precautions for all residents of the Columbus metropolitan area: seek underground shelter immediately. Close, lock, and barricade all doors and windows to prevent these creatures from entering your home. Turn off heating or AC units, close fireplace dampers, and seal cracks with tape, damp clothing, or damp towels. Gather supplies for shelter, including non-perishable food, water, medical items, first aid, fully charged phones, phone chargers, and battery-operated radios, or anything that will last you during the duration of this emergency. Make sure you turn on all lights in your shelter to ward off the demons. However, remain as quiet as possible, as demons are attracted to loud sounds. If one or more of these creatures enters your home, follow the above methods to kill them, if possible. Do not approach or engage them for any reason. They are extremely dangerous and will attack anyone on sight. For further updates on this life-threatening emergency, stay tuned to local media outlets for further information on this dangerous situation.
Good evening, Columbus. This is ABC6, I'm Dave Morrison. Today is March 1st, 2025. We are continuing to monitor the rapidly unfolding events tied to the ongoing demon infestation epidemic 666, Die-666, which has turned the city into a scene of terror and chaos. In a disturbing development, Mayor Andrew Ginder has reportedly fallen ill and is unable to address the public tonight as previously planned. The virus, which started as a mysterious illness, has now evolved into a full-scale emergency with confirmed demon manifestations wreaking havoc across the Columbus metropolitan area. The mayor's condition is currently unknown, though many are concerned given his prominent role in coordinating the city's response to this unprecedented crisis. In his absence, Deputy Mayor Stephen Cruz is expected to make a public address shortly. Cruz has been a key figure in the city's health and safety management, but this will be his first public speech as acting mayor during this crisis. Columbus residents are waiting for Cruz to deliver vital updates on the state of the city, containment efforts, and any new strategies to deal with the worsening outbreak. Multiple eyewitness reports have come in from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, where injured victims of the demonic attacks have been rushed, though many hospitals remain at full capacity. Those who witnessed the events describe the scenes as horrifying, with attackers displaying unnatural strength, violent behavior, and grotesque physical changes indicative of the transformation into the demonic entities tied to Die-666. These demons are now confirmed to be responsible for a growing number of deaths and injuries. As previously mentioned in emergency alerts, these creatures can be identified by horns, wings, red skin, piercing eyes, and massive muscle mass, and they are impervious to gunfire. Emergency services are stretched thin, and law enforcement is urging residents to stay indoors and lock all entry points. A social media frenzy has erupted over the past 24 hours, with number DEMONATTACKINGEARTH trending on X, formerly Twitter. The hashtag has been flooded with videos, photos, and personal accounts of the chaos, adding to the rising panic. Clips of disturbing encounters with the demons have gone viral, showing the terrifying reality of the streets in Columbus. Meanwhile, city officials are working with religious leaders, scholars, and even exorcists to combat the situation. Many are relying on prayers, exorcism rites, and ancient texts to understand how best to fight this supernatural threat. There is growing debate and concern among city residents and leaders alike about the true nature of these events. Correspondent Raymond Thompson, who is on the ground at the Wexner Medical Center, has stated that many eyewitnesses believe actual demons may now be present on Earth, raising questions about the scope and source of this crisis. Thompson reports, there's an overwhelming sense of fear, disbelief, and sheer horror. I've spoken to survivors who describe the attackers not as humans infected by a virus, but as something far more sinister, actual demons. These people believe the virus may have opened the gates to something beyond our comprehension. Whether we believe it or not, the city of Columbus is at the heart of something terrifyingly unique. In just a few moments, we expect Stephen Cruz to step up to the podium to address these growing concerns and outline the city's next steps in dealing with what can only be described as an invasion of demonic entities. Stay with ABC6. Columbus, for live coverage of cruises address and continuing updates on this crisis. Once again, residents are strongly urged to remain in their homes with doors and windows securely locked. For those who have already been exposed to the virus or who have witnessed a demonic attack, please follow the quarantine procedures provided in earlier alerts. Emergency services are asking everyone to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary and to use armed protection if demons are encountered. We will continue to provide updates as the situation develops. This is an incredibly challenging time for all of us, but Columbus has proven resilient before, and together we can face this crisis. Stay tuned.
Good evening. I take that back. It is not a good idea to say good evening in circumstances like this. I'm Stephen Cruz, the deputy mayor, filling in for Mayor Ginther, who is mysteriously ill. I wish I had some positive news on the mysterious virus, DIE-666, but instead, we have some downright horrifying and very unsettling news to share with the public. It has been confirmed. The people that were attacking victims across the city of Columbus and surrounding areas are, and you'll not believe me when I tell you this, demons. Yes, demons. And no, not the demons people get possessed by that retain their human bodies. I'm talking about the malevolent, evil creatures. The monsters we think of in religions like Christianity and Catholicism, or in folklore, mythology, and fiction. But somehow, someway, they have come to life. These creatures are brutally attacking and killing anyone they see in their path, and in disturbing ways. Several eyewitnesses have reportedly seen these creatures attack their victims by strangulation, crushing them to death, clawing and slashing, piercing their victims with sharp horns, burning them alive, using supernatural blows, and possessing individuals, driving them to insanity and, in some cases, to commit suicide or attack others. This virus now has a 100% mortality rate, and all those killed by these demons transform within 5 minutes, transforming into demons themselves, becoming extremely violent and attacking anyone they see. These demons can be identified by several terrifying traits: horns on their heads, wings, garnet or crimson-colored skin, yellow or red pupils, increased strength and agility, standing around 9 to 12 feet tall, and possessing immense muscle mass. They are resistant to gunfire and exhibit abilities such as shape-shifting, telekinesis, invisibility, and control over fire and darkness. They spread corruption and have an infectious presence that drives humans into madness and violence. Unfortunately, these creatures cannot be killed by conventional means like firearms. However, through our investigations and collaboration with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, we have identified several ways to stop these demons. Methods include using a crucifix, holy water, blessed weapons wielded by monks or priests, exorcism rites, chanting sacred texts like the power of Christ compels you, silver weapons, purifying fire, and holy light. Demons are also vulnerable to sunlight, and decapitation with a magically or spiritually enhanced blade can stop them permanently. The CDC has declared DIE-666 as a novel virus, unlike anything seen before. This virus affects the brain, pushing infected individuals into extreme homicidal rage. It opens what can only be described as the gates of hell on Earth. Due to the dire nature of this situation, all residents of the Columbus metropolitan area are urged to seek underground shelter immediately. Lock and barricade all windows and doors. Seal cracks with tape or towels, and turn off all air conditioning and heating units. Gather essential supplies. Food, water, medical supplies, first aid kits, and communication devices like cell phones and radios. Keep lights on to deter demons, but make as little noise as possible, as these creatures are drawn to sound. Do not approach these demons for any reason. They will attack and kill anyone on sight. If one enters your home, use the previously mentioned methods to exterminate them. If you're slashed or clawed, the infection will be too advanced to cure. Tragically, I must tell you to commit suicide immediately, as within minutes, you will transform into a demon. If you see these creatures, run to the nearest shelter and hide. Folks, this is the time for prayer. We need to ask God for mercy, for protection, for strength during this unfathomable time. I am at a loss for words. Together, we must fight this, and if we can stand united against this unimaginable evil, we will survive. We'll make it through. Thank you for listening, and may God have mercy on us all. God help us and save us.
following message is transmitted by the request of the Ohio Department of Health and the Ohio Department of Public Safety. The situation involving the virus, DIE-666, and widespread demon attacks, which has been unfolding across the Columbus metropolitan area for the past hour and a half, has escalated dramatically. Reports confirm that cases of DIE-666, as well as sightings of demons, have now spread to several cities across Ohio. Affected cities include Youngstown, Lima, Lorain, Middletown, Findlay, Defiance, Dayton, Marion, Canton, Mansfield, Springfield, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Akron, and Toledo. These creatures are brutally attacking and killing anyone they encounter. They are causing massive destruction, numerous injuries, fatalities, infections, and subsequent transformations of victims into demons. It is expected that this phenomenon will spread throughout the entire state of Ohio, and potentially into neighboring states within the next few hours. Due to the rapid progression of the situation, the entire state of Ohio is now under a mandatory shelter-in-place order and quarantine until further notice. Please follow these instructions. Close, lock, and barricade all doors and windows to prevent these creatures from entering your shelter. Turn off all air conditioning and heating units, as this virus is airborne. Close off fireplace dampers and seal cracks on doors and windows with tape, damp clothing, or damp towels. Gather adequate supplies, including non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, toiletries, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone, phone chargers, a battery-operated or hand-crank radio, and anything that will last you for the duration of this emergency. Turn on all lights in your shelter to potentially deter demons from approaching. However, remain as quiet as possible, as demons are highly sensitive to sound and can track loud noises more easily than humans. Do not approach these creatures under any circumstances, as they are extremely dangerous and will kill anyone on sight. If one or more of these creatures enters your home, attempt to eliminate them using the listed methods since they are resistant to conventional weaponry, using a crucifix, pouring running water or holy water on them, using blessed weapons such as monks or priests, exorcism, chanting scared texts such as the power of Christ compels you, using spells and incarcerations, using a silver weapon such as a sword or a dagger, purifying fire, holy light, can be killed by sunlight, forcing the demon out, sacrificing the host, and chopping off the demon's head with a sword, axe, cleaver, machete, large knife, or sword or axes with magical or holy enhancements. However, if you have been clawed or slashed by these demons, it is strongly advised to commit suicide immediately, as there is no escape. After 5 minutes, you will lose control of your body and become a demon yourself. If you spot any of these creatures in your vicinity, run and seek the nearest shelter or secure building. Please stay tuned to local news outlets for further updates and information on this extremely dangerous situation.
Summer vibes that won't stop. WCPL HD1
Greenfield, Indianapolis.
a Cumulus Media station. Your summer soundtrack.
Looking for heaven under the sky, you and I, barely alive. Beautiful words from angels that fall when they fly. Sold us a lie, running from the shadow, lost in the night. Gotta be brave and have no fear. Fighting for the fire, wait for the light. Gotta be brave, 'cause I need you here in the darkness. In the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness, in the darkness, in the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness. Straight like an arrow deep in an ocean of glass, I crash through the black. Follow the sound, the beat of your heart like a man. I'll capture you back. Run into the shadow, break through the night. Gotta be brave and have no fear. Fighting for the fire, wait for the light. Gotta be brave, 'cause I need you here in the darkness. In the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness, in the darkness, in the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness, in the darkness, in the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness, in the darkness, in the darkness, I will find you. In the darkness.
Civil danger warning. The following message is transmitted by the request of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Cases of the virus, DIE-666, as well as demon attacks which were reported in the state of Ohio in the last few hours, have been reported in nearby states and across several states in the Midwest. These states include Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. These creatures are extremely dangerous, attacking and killing anyone in their line of sight. They are causing massive injuries, fatalities, infections, and transformations into demons across these states. Victims are attacked by various violent methods, including strangulation, crushing, clawing, and piercing with horns. Some are burned alive by supernatural forces, and others are possessed, driven to insanity, violent acts, or even suicide. Infected individuals, especially those who are clawed or slashed by the creatures, will transform into demons within 5 minutes after death. Attempts to contain or eliminate these demons with conventional weaponry have been unsuccessful, as they appear resistant to modern arms. The National Guard has been deployed in affected areas, but containment efforts are failing. The CDC is working on a cure or vaccine for DIE-666, though it is uncertain when, or if ever it will be distributed to the public. Current estimates suggest it may not be ready until 2026 or 2027, raising concerns that this outbreak may lead to a mass extinction-level event. All residents receiving this message are strongly advised to shelter in place immediately. You are advised to do the following instructions. Close, lock, and barricade all doors and windows to prevent entry by these creatures. Turn off all air conditioning and heating units, as this virus is airborne. Close off fireplace dampers, and seal cracks on doors and windows with tape, damp clothing, or damp towels. Gather adequate supplies, including non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, toiletries, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone, phone chargers, a battery-operated or hand crank radio, and anything that will last you for the duration of this emergency. Turn on all lights to help deter demons, but remain as quiet as possible. Demons are attracted to fear and contract loud noises more easily than humans. These demons can be killed by the following ways. Showing them a crucifix, pouring running water or holy water on them, blessed weapons wielded by priests or monks, exorcism, and chanting sacred prayer, such as the power of Christ compels you, silver weapons like swords or daggers, purifying fire, or holy light, sunlight, decapitation, forcing the demon out, sacrificing the host, and chopping off the demon's head with a sword, axe, knife, cleaver, machete, and or swords or axes with holy enhancements. Do not approach these creatures under any circumstances, as they are extremely dangerous and will kill anyone on sight. Encounters with one of these demons will almost, if not completely certain, will result in an instantaneous death, and it will also have you being clawed, slaughtered, and turned into a demon yourself. Multi-state martial law and a quarantine has been declared for these states until further notice. A multi-state martial law means the imposition of martial law in several states or regions simultaneously, typically in response to a widespread crisis that affects multiple areas within a country. Under multi-state martial law, military control is extended across various states, where normal civilian functions of government are either suspended or heavily restricted. The federal or national government generally coordinates the declaration, especially in countries where authority over states or provinces is centralized. Do not leave these states unless you have permission from your local civil authorities or local officials. If anyone attempting to leave the quarantine states without permission from local authorities or local officials will be arrested or shot on sight by the National Guard. If you are infected or have been clawed or scratched by these demons, you are advised to commit suicide immediately. You will lose control of yourself and become a demon within 5 minutes, endangering those around you. Please stay tuned to local media and news outlets for further updates.
Good morning. We begin with breaking and truly disturbing news as the DIE666 virus has escalated dramatically overnight. What started as an isolated series of incidents in Ohio, has spread across the Midwest and is rapidly advancing towards other parts of the country. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, is reporting that they are at a total loss of words as the situation worsens by the hour. We have never seen anything like this, what has become a massive outbreak of demonic attacks across several states. In addition to the virus, eyewitnesses and local authorities are reporting violent, supernatural occurrences, with creatures that appear to be actual demons terrorizing cities. The virus, DIE666, was first thought to be a novel disease but has now transformed into something no one could have imagined. Reports from the CDC indicate that infected individuals are quickly overtaken by demonic entities, transforming into these horrific creatures within minutes. These beings, standing 9 to 12 feet tall, have been described as having horns, wings, and crimson skin, displaying terrifying powers like pyrokinesis, telekinesis, and even possession. They are impervious to traditional weapons, and even the National Guard has struggled to contain the attacks. Here are the latest developments. DIE666 and demon sightings spread. Over the past 24 hours, the virus and demonic attacks have spread far beyond Ohio, with confirmed reports now coming from Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Alabama, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. So far, no cases of DIE666 or demonic activity have been reported in Virginia or along the southeast coast, providing a small measure of hope for those regions. The CDC is collaborating with other federal agencies, but there is no known cure for DIE666 at this time, and scientists are unable to identify the source of this outbreak. The NHL suspends the 2024-2025 season. In response to the escalating crisis, the NHL has suspended the remainder of the 2024-2025 season. Teams and players have been urged to take shelter, and all upcoming games are postponed indefinitely. The highly anticipated Stadium Series between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings, originally set for this weekend, has now been rescheduled for March 6, 2026, pending resolution of the outbreak. This marks the first time in modern sports history that a season has been halted by a national emergency of this magnitude. The CDC at a loss. The CDC and other medical experts have admitted that they are struggling to keep pace with the rapid spread of DIE666. Dr. Michelle Abrams, a senior spokesperson for the CDC, has expressed deep concern, stating, "We don't fully understand what we are dealing with here. This virus is unlike anything we've seen, and the demonic entities that have emerged as a result are beyond the scope of modern medicine or science. We are asking the public to remain calm, stay indoors, and follow local safety protocols. Multiple states, including Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky, have declared states of martial law as the National Guard attempts to quell the violence and protect civilians. Residents in affected areas are being urged to shelter in place, lock doors and windows, and avoid any contact with these creatures. The CDC has provided guidelines for how to identify and kill these demonic entities, including the use of blessed weapons, holy water, exorcisms, and other religious rituals. While there is no evidence of DIE 666 or demons on the southeast coast at this time, authorities are warning residents to be vigilant and prepare in case the situation worsens. Federal and state officials are in continuous meetings to determine the best course of action, but it is clear this crisis is far from over. We now have our correspondent, Tom Rogers, live from downtown Lynchburg, Virginia. Tom, what is the current situation like in Lynchburg?
David, I'm standing here in downtown Lynchburg, and at the moment, things are surprisingly calm. It's business as usual, for now, with no reported cases of DIE 666 or any demonic sightings here in Lynchburg, or anywhere in the southeastern or northeastern United States. However, that calm could be deceptive. Experts fear that as the virus continues its rapid spread, we could see the situation here change very quickly, much like it did in the Midwest. The CDC, in collaboration with federal agencies and local health officials, has been working tirelessly, but the truth is, there's no known cure or effective treatment for DIE 666 at this time. And we are hearing estimates that a vaccine might not be available until 2026 or 2027. But the real question is, will that be too late? This virus has the potential to become a mass extinction level event. The CDC is already predicting that within the next 5 to 6 hours, the virus could spread across the entire continental United States. And as you mentioned earlier, we are also facing the threat of demons, creatures whose attacks are reportedly spreading the virus even further. This combination of viral infection and demonic assaults is something unprecedented, and to be quite honest, no one knows how to stop it. The CDC is still investigating whether DIE 666 is even a virus, or something entirely different, possibly supernatural. What's clear is that it's spreading at a rate never before seen.
Tom, that's terrifying. Could you speak more about the potential for a global pandemic?
David, this is no longer a distant possibility. The CDC has indicated that the virus is likely to spread outside the U.S. to places like Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and even as far as Australia, Russia, and China in just a matter of months. They estimate that within the next 3 months, we could be facing a global pandemic, the likes of which the world hasn't seen since 2020, and perhaps even worse. Now, when it comes to containing the spread of DIE 666, the National Guard and other military forces have been mobilized, but so far, their efforts have been ineffective. Demons are proving resistant to conventional weapons, and as for the virus, it's spreading too fast for containment efforts to keep up. To make matters worse, I'm getting reports, unconfirmed, but from multiple sources, that some states are already seeing horrific scenes. In Kentucky, for example, sources claim that a demon literally crushed a person to death. The body was reportedly left in pieces, with nothing but blood remaining. And in Wisconsin, I've heard that someone, in sheer panic, shot themselves with a double-barrel shotgun, and, well, the aftermath was beyond words. These are isolated reports, but they give us a glimpse into just how dire the situation is becoming. It feels like we are on the verge of an uncontrollable outbreak here in the U.S. and beyond.
Tom, that's deeply unsettling. You mentioned the CDC was unsure of the origin of DIE 666. What else are officials saying about this aspect of the virus?
Yes, David, and that's another troubling aspect. The CDC has stated that they can't even determine if DIE 666 is a traditional virus, a biological weapon, or something more supernatural in origin. They've even questioned whether it's from this world at all. We are truly dealing with the unknown here, which complicates efforts to find a cure or vaccine. With health officials uncertain about virus's origin, they are urging the public to remain calm and follow strict guidelines which include sheltering in place, avoiding any possible contact with demons, and keeping faith in place. People have been asked to pray, and many are turning to religious leaders for guidance, given the demonic nature of these attacks.
And Tom, in your opinion, how prepared are local authorities and the public for this potential escalation?
David, I've been on the ground here, and I can tell you that Lynchburg and surrounding areas seem unprepared for what could come. Yes, there are emergency protocols in place, but the public is largely in denial, likely because we haven't seen any direct signs of the virus or demons yet. But that could change in an instant. Given the rate of spread, it's possible that within the next 24 hours, this calm could turn into chaos. I think there's a sense that we are living on borrowed time. People here are praying that they'll be spared, but the harsh reality is, the CDC is already warning that the entire East Coast could soon be affected.
Tom, before we let you go, what's your personal take on all of this? How are you feeling out there?
As a correspondent, I've seen a lot of crises over the years, but this one feels different. This one feels like it's bigger than us. People are scared, and I'm scared too, honestly. We're facing not only a deadly virus, but literal demons, and it feels like something out of a horror film. We can only hope that science, faith, and humanity can come together in time to stop this before it spirals out of control completely. For now, it's a waiting game, and I'll be here on the ground monitoring the situation as it develops. Back to you, David.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Tom. As we continue to track this rapidly evolving situation, let's bring you the latest developments from across the country. We're hearing that cases of...
David, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have breaking news coming in. The 2024-25 NBA season has officially been suspended, effective immediately. This decision comes as the CDC continues to warn of the escalating threat posed by DIE 666 and the demonic attacks. In addition, Major League Baseball has announced that the 2025 season, originally set to begin on March 18, will also be delayed indefinitely. All remaining spring training activities for all 30 teams have been suspended. This feels eerily similar to 2020, all over again, when sports leagues ground to a halt in the face of a pandemic. There's a palpable sense of déjà vu among fans and players alike as we witness this unfolding crisis. As the situation continues to develop, I urge everyone to stay tuned to your local news outlets and follow official guidelines. This is a rapidly out of control situation, and we must remain vigilant. Back to you, David.
Thank you for that update, Tom. It's crucial for our viewers to understand the gravity of the situation as we navigate through this crisis. Remember, staying informed is... Oh my God, what was that? Hello? Anyone there? Oh. My. Fucking. God. It's a fucking demon. A fucking demon is in the CNN headquarters right now? What do you want from me, you fucking evil demon?
For you to die. Time to die.
God, please save me. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Please save me. Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, we deeply apologize for the disturbance earlier. We've just received confirmation that David Cooper, one of our anchors, has tragically lost his life during that demonic attack. Our hearts are with his family and friends during this horrific time. We now have a spokesperson from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Evelyn Carter, on the phone to discuss the ongoing efforts to combat the DI 666 virus. Dr. Carter, are you with us? Dr. Carter, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me, and my condolences go out to David's loved ones. This is a tragic reminder of the seriousness of what we're facing. The situation is evolving faster than we anticipated. As of now, the DIEE 666 virus, combined with the demonic phenomena, has made it incredibly difficult to develop a concrete treatment. The virus is not like anything we've encountered before. Its origin, as well as the demon attacks, are both beyond traditional scientific explanation. But we are working around the clock, collaborating with global health agencies and virologists. We're hoping that within the next 12 to 18 months, a vaccine might be ready for testing. Unfortunately, the timeline is uncertain due to the rapidly spreading nature of both the virus and the supernatural events. Unfortunately, once someone has been clawed or infected by the virus, the transformation into a demon is almost immediate. There's no current treatment that can stop it. That's why we're urging people to shelter in place and avoid any contact with these creatures. There are some theoretical options being explored, but right now, prevention is the best course of action. Stay indoors, avoid infected individuals, and follow all quarantine protocols. We're doing everything in our power to contain this, but as you've seen, the virus has spread rapidly across the Midwest and is continuing to expand. We're entering uncharted territory, so I urge everyone to be vigilant, follow the guidelines, and stay informed. We still have hope, but it's going to take global cooperation and
Thank you for your time, Dr. Carter. We wish you and your team the best of luck in fighting this unprecedented crisis. As we continue to monitor this terrifying outbreak, we'll keep you updated with any new developments regarding the DIE 666 virus and these demonic attacks. Our thoughts remain with those affected, and we urge everyone watching to take this situation seriously. Stay with CNN for continuing coverage.
This is a national emergency message, requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national-level emergency. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow.
This is a national emergency message. All broadcasts and cable stations shall transmit this national emergency message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations remain on the air, providing news and information in assigned areas. This is 99.9, The Fox. We will continue to serve the Columbus, Mississippi area. If you are not in the Columbus, Mississippi area, or in this local area, tune now into a station providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Columbus, Mississippi area. Don't use the telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use to call 911 only. The emergency alert system has been activated. We interrupt our regular programming by the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is 99.9, The Fox. We will continue furnishing news, official information, and instructions for the Columbus, Mississippi area. If you are not in the Columbus, Mississippi area, you should tune into stations providing news and information in your local area. It is important that you listen carefully to announcements from the station in your local area.
The following message is transmitted by the request of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the United States government. This is not a test. Repeating, this is not a test. Please pay close attention to this alert, as it pertains an ongoing national crisis. At approximately 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, cases of the virus, DIE 666, as well as demons, that were originated in Columbus, Ohio, have now been confirmed to be reported in all 50 states in the United States, including Hawaii, creatures, which were originated from Columbus, Ohio, are now attacking and killing individuals across the country through various horrifying means, including strangulation, supernatural powers, and physical violence. The virus is 100% infectious and spreads rapidly. Any contact with these demons, such as being scratched or clawed, results in infection. Within 5 minutes, the infected die and transform into one of the demons, joining in the attacks. The population of the United States is currently dropping at an unprecedented rate, with over 56 million cases reported, and more than 20 million confirmed deaths, most of which have resulted in demonic transformations. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is racing to find a vaccine, but there is no guarantee that it will arrive in time to stop the spread. The virus is anticipated to trigger a global pandemic, with cases already suspected to be emerging in other countries. The situation is dangerous and life-threatening, and containment efforts have so far been unsuccessful. All U.S. residents are strongly advised to shelter in place immediately. Close, lock, and barricade all doors and windows. Turn off all heating and air conditioning units. Seal cracks on windows and doors using tape, damp clothing, or towels. Gather emergency supplies, including food, water, medical kits, clothing, toiletries, a flashlight, a fully charged cell phone, chargers, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio. It has been reported that lights are attracting the demons to shelters, so it is recommended that you turn off all visible lights. These creatures are extremely dangerous and will kill any person they come into contact with. Do not approach them under any circumstances. Once infected, individuals are considered no longer human. Repeating, individuals are considered no longer human. If you suspect anyone near you has been infected or transformed, do not engage and immediately fortify your location. President Donald Trump is expected to address the nation shortly regarding this situation. Please stand by for that message.
President Donald Trump has been moved to an undisclosed location. Please stand by for a message from the President, or a representative of the President.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Though in truth there is nothing good about this evening, tonight I stand before you during one of the darkest moments in our nation's history. America is under siege, but not by an enemy we've ever known. What we face now is beyond comprehension. The demon virus, also known as Di-66, originated in Columbus, Ohio, and has now spread across every corner of our nation. Every state, every territory, including Hawaii and Alaska, has reported outbreaks. Tonight, hell itself has awakened on Earth. Let me explain what we are truly up against. These are not simply infected humans. These are demons, creatures straight from the depths of our worst nightmares. They are identifiable by their grotesque features, horns protruding from their heads, wings sprouting from their backs, and red or crimson-colored skin. Their eyes black, red, or yellow are filled with rage, and their bodies are massive, standing between 9 and 12 feet tall. They are incredibly powerful with the strength of 20 men, and they possess supernatural abilities that make them even more terrifying. Some of these abilities include shape-shifting, allowing them to change their appearance, and telekinesis, which gives them the power to move objects and even people without touching them. They can become invisible, move at inhuman speeds, and exhibit control over fire and darkness. We have reports that they can regenerate injuries within seconds, making them nearly impossible to kill with conventional weapons. They radiate an overwhelming aura of malevolence capable of corrupting the very ground they walk upon. These demons are not simply infected, they are pure evil, driven by a single desire to destroy humanity. They attack indiscriminately, brutally, and without mercy. Some reports have described them strangling their victims to death, while others speak of them crushing people as if they were nothing more than toys. They slash and pierce with claws as sharp as blades, and some can even burn their victims alive using fire conjured from thin air. The most terrifying aspect of this outbreak is the virus that is directly tied to these demons. The virus Di-666 is 100% infectious. Even the smallest scratch or bite from one of these creatures will result in infection. Within 5 minutes, the victim succumbs to the virus and dies only to transform into a demon themselves. The infected are no longer human. They become part of the demonic force that is decimating our population. As of tonight, there have been over 56 million reported cases across the United States. Over 20 million Americans have already lost their lives, most of whom have transformed into demons after death. The rate at which this virus spreads is beyond anything we've ever seen in history. This is no ordinary pandemic. It is a demonic plague spreading with terrifying speed. We are losing the fight to contain this outbreak. The population of the United States is plummeting at an unprecedented rate, and the situation grows more dire by the hour. We have never faced an enemy like this, an enemy that can neither be reasoned with nor defeated by conventional means. My fellow Americans, I am urging you shelter in place immediately. This is not a suggestion. This is a matter of life and death. Close, lock, and barricade all doors and windows. Use furniture, boards, whatever you can find to block every possible point of entry into your home. Turn off all lights. Reports are coming in that these demons are attracted to lights, which means they will seek out illuminated homes. Seal cracks around doors and windows with tape towels or anything else you have on hand to prevent any exposure. Make sure you have gathered all the necessary emergency supplies: food, water, medical kits, clothing, flashlights, fully charged cell phones, batteries, and radios. It is critical that you remain in communication with local authorities and emergency services, but know that help may not come. Our hospitals and first responders are overwhelmed, and we are losing control of this situation rapidly. Do not under any circumstances approach these creatures. They are beyond reason, beyond mercy, and they will kill without hesitation. They possess the strength of titans and the power of the supernatural. If you suspect that anyone near you has been infected, you must treat them as a demon already. There is no cure at this time. Anyone infected is no longer human. If, God forbid, you are infected, if you are scratched, clawed, or bitten, you must understand the gravity of your situation. The virus will take hold within minutes, and once it does, there is no escaping it. I am saying this with the deepest of sorrows. You must end your own life before the transformation takes place. The moment you turn into one of these creatures, you will be a threat to everyone you love, and there will be no saving you. This is a time of unimaginable hardship, but as Americans, we do not give in to fear. We do not fall before an enemy, and even now, in the face of demons themselves, we will not back down. We are the strongest nation on earth, and we will rise to this challenge. Our military, our government, and our scientists are working day and night to find a way to combat this threat. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is doing everything in its power to develop a vaccine, though it may be months or even years before one becomes available. I understand that this is a terrifying time. Families have been torn apart, entire cities have been destroyed, and we are facing a crisis the likes of which no one could have ever imagined. But we must stand together. We will not let these demons destroy our great nation. We will not allow Satan to claim victory over us. In God Almighty, we place our faith. With His guidance and protection, we will survive this, and we will come out stronger. Remember, shelter in place, protect your loved ones, and follow the guidance of your local authorities and health officials. Keep your faith, stay strong, and know that we will defeat this evil. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
That was a message from the President. We now return to the emergency alert system. This concludes all operations of the emergency alert system. However, normal programming has been suspended until this crisis has ended. This is a national emergency message requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of his representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow.
The following message is transmitted by the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Department of Health and Human Services, the World Health Organization, and the United States government. This is not a test. Repeating, this is not a test. Please remain on this channel and pay close attention to this alert as it pertains to an ongoing global crisis. The DI-666 virus and accompanying demon transformations, first reported in the United States, have now spread to major international cities around the world. These international cities include Paris, France, Rome, Italy, Berlin, Germany, Seoul, South Korea, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Shanghai, China, Beijing, China, Moscow, Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia, Istanbul, Turkey, Vienna, Austria, Mexico City, Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico, Iztapalapa, Mexico, Leon de los Altima, Mexico, Lisbon, Portugal, Prague, Czech Republic, Athens, Greece, New Delhi, India, Dublin, Ireland, Geneva, Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland, Stockholm, Sweden, Espoo, Finland, Helsinki, Finland, Bergen, Norway, Oslo, Norway, Stavanger, Norway, London, United Kingdom, Manchester, United Kingdom, Melbourne, Australia, Sydney, Australia, Alberta, Canada, Toronto, Canada, Montreal, Canada, and Quebec City, Canada, New Taipei City, Taiwan, Osaka, Japan, Yokohama, Japan, and Tokyo, Japan. These demons are attacking the human race with brutal efficiency, using methods of strangulation, crushing, and piercing their victims. They possess supernatural abilities, making them nearly impossible to stop. The virus is spreading at an unprecedented rate, as it is 100% infectious and contagious. The transformation from infection to death, and then to demonic form occurs within 5 minutes. Once transformed, these demons are capable of extreme violence, and are slaughtering people by the millions. As of this broadcast, over 1 billion cases have been confirmed worldwide, with over 500 million deaths. Nearly all of those who die from DI-666 transform into demons. Conventional military efforts have failed to stop these creatures, as they rapidly regenerate from any injury, rendering conventional weapons useless. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention along the World Health Organization are continuing their efforts to develop a vaccine, but they have not guaranteed success. This virus is spreading at unprecedented levels. As of now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention along the World Health Organization have officially declared DI-666 a global pandemic. It is expected that cases and transformations will spread worldwide within the next 12 to 36 hours. All residents are strongly advised to remain in underground shelters or other secure locations at this time. The survival rate is plummeting rapidly, and there is no sign of containment. These demons are unstoppable with current technology and are likely to continue spreading and causing devastation. Do not approach these creatures under any circumstances. They are highly dangerous, and any individuals infected or transformed is considered no longer human. Stay tuned to your local media outlets for updates on this dangerous situation.
This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good evening. This is a breaking news special report from ABC News. The situation across the world continues to deteriorate as the catastrophic global crisis involving the DIE-666 virus and demonic manifestations threatens the very existence of humanity. Experts warn that the world is teetering on the brink of extinction, with many asking if we have run out of time. What was once thought to be a biological contagion has now been confirmed to be something far more sinister. DIE-666 is not a disease in the traditional sense, and all efforts to stop it using modern medicine have failed. As the clock ticks, the search for a vaccine continues, but experts say that without a breakthrough within the next month, it may be too late. Let's go live now to Ashley Coleman, who is on the ground in Los Angeles, California, where the sound of chaos reigns. Ashley, what can you tell us about the situation there?
Thank you, David. As you can hear behind me, Los Angeles, like much of the world, has become a battleground. The sound of gunfire, explosions, and fighter jets fill the air as the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force engage in what seems like a desperate last stand against these demons. Despite their best efforts, the situation is dire, and we are witnessing something that humanity has never encountered on this scale before. Military forces here have deployed tanks, heavy artillery, and advanced weaponry, but it's clear that conventional arms are proving to be largely ineffective. These demonic creatures are relentless, seemingly immune to injury and capable of supernatural abilities that defy the laws of physics. Soldiers are fighting back with everything they have, but for every demon they slow down, several more seem to rise. I've spoken to some of the commanders here on the ground, and morale is incredibly low. The soldiers are exhausted, pushed beyond their limits, yet they continue to fight, because, at this point, what choice do they have? Civilians are being evacuated, but the process is chaotic. Many are choosing to stay behind either to protect their homes or because they're too afraid to leave. Earlier today, I spoke with a mother of 3 who had barricaded herself and her children in their apartment. She told me that they could hear the demons screeching in the streets at night, but they haven't been able to sleep for days. "We're praying for a miracle," she said, her voice trembling. "But I'm not sure how much longer we can hold on."
Ashley, this is truly a horrific situation. Can you tell us more about the ongoing investigations into the nature of this virus? It was initially believed to be a biological outbreak, but now reports suggest it's something else entirely.
That's right, David. In the early stages of the outbreak, scientists and health officials around the world, including those at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the World Health Organization, WHO, believed that Di666 was a fast-spreading, highly lethal virus. But as the pandemic progressed, it became clear that what we're dealing with goes far beyond anything in the realm of virology. According to the most recent reports, DIE666 is not a disease, at least not one caused by any known pathogen. Experts now believe that the virus was somehow unleashed by demonic forces. This, of course, has made it nearly impossible to combat using traditional means. Vaccines that were being developed have so far proven ineffective because the nature of the threat seems more spiritual or supernatural than biological. Investigations are still underway, but the leading theory is that this entire crisis, both the virus and the demonic attacks, are part of a coordinated effort by these malevolent entities to bring about the apocalypse. Attempts at understanding their origins, their goals, and how to stop them have been slow, as resources are overwhelmed by the sheer scope of the destruction.
Well, and Ashley, we're hearing disturbing reports about the efforts to reason with these demons. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, several governments, including the United States, have attempted diplomatic negotiations with these entities. Unfortunately, all attempts have failed, and in fact, many of those who tried to broker peace were killed during the process. It seems these demons have no interest in negotiations. They are here to destroy, plain and simple. Their goals appear to be the total annihilation of humanity. The United Nations initially sought to send envoys to these beings in hopes of opening a dialogue, but tragically, those efforts were met with swift and violent retribution. These creatures are beyond reason, and the idea of diplomacy with them has been officially abandoned. Even now, as we speak, the military here in Los Angeles is trying to mount another defense, but we're seeing demons moving faster, stronger, and deadlier than ever before. The U.S. government has warned that without a viable vaccine or weapon against these demons, human extinction is a very real possibility within the next few weeks or even days.
Ashley, this is truly a global crisis of unimaginable proportions. Is there any hope left for a breakthrough? Are there any leads on a possible vaccine or solution?
There are still efforts underway. Experts from around the world, including scientists, military strategists, and religious leaders, are working tirelessly to find any kind of solution. The CDC continues its research, but at this point, many fear we may be out of time. They're working on a vaccine, but the window to develop and deploy it is rapidly closing. Religious leaders are advising prayer and faith in these dark times, and many people are turning to spiritual guidance as they brace for what may be the end. I've heard from sources that some communities are banding together, holding mass vigils, and seeking comfort in their faith as the situation grows increasingly desperate. As of now, the world is holding on by a thread, and unless a miracle happens or a solution is found, experts are saying that the world may not survive beyond the next month.
Thank you, Ashley. Please stay safe out there. We will continue to monitor this developing crisis and bring you the latest updates as they come in. Stay with the BC News for continuous coverage as the world faces what could be its darkest hour. Good evening. This is David Muir with an important update regarding the global crisis involving the Di-666 virus and the demonic entities now plaguing the world. The United States government has confirmed that it is preparing to use nuclear weapons as a last resort to eliminate the demonic threat if all other efforts fail. Government officials in a late-night briefing have declared that the situation has reached an unprecedented level of urgency, despite the relentless efforts of the U.S. military and international forces to combat the demons. It has become apparent that conventional weapons are ineffective against the increasing strength and numbers of these creatures. As we reported earlier, diplomatic attempts to engage with these demons have resulted in catastrophic failure, and the world has now entered a state of emergency. The U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force continue to engage these demons in cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, D.C., but the demons are showing an alarming resistance to even the most advanced military technologies. Tonight's briefing was stark. Officials stated that if the demonic entities are not contained, nuclear weapons may be deployed as the final option to obliterate large areas where these entities are concentrated. This decision comes after military analysts confirmed that standard military tactics are no longer sufficient to handle the growing supernatural threat. However, the use of nuclear weapons comes with its own risks, including massive collateral damage and fallout that would affect millions of survivors still left on Earth. Defense Secretary Mark Lawrence stated, "We are faced with an unprecedented evil, one that threatens not just our nation but the entire world. We will do everything in our power to save humanity, but we must prepare for the worst. The decision to use nuclear weapons will not be taken lightly. But should it come to that, we will have no choice but to proceed." The government has also urged citizens to evacuate major cities, especially those identified as epicenters of demonic activity, and to seek shelter in less populated areas. The situation remains extremely volatile. Meanwhile, scientists and military experts continue working around the clock to develop alternative solutions, including advanced weapons and experimental technologies, in the hope that nuclear warfare can be avoided. However, time is running out and the decision may soon be out of their hands. For now, officials are urging calm and preparation. Gather necessary supplies, ensure that you and your loved ones have a plan for emergency evacuation, and stay tuned to official broadcasts for further updates. We will continue to monitor the situation as it unfolds. Stay with the BC News for the latest information on this developing crisis. This is a critical moment in human history, and we will bring you every update as it becomes available.
Good evening. This is Lester Holt with an NBC News special report. We are bringing you breaking news from the White House regarding the Di-666 virus and the escalating demonic crisis. In a late-night address, President Donald Trump has officially given the green light for the use of nuclear weapons in the United States' final effort to eliminate the demonic threat that has devastated the country and much of the world. President Trump, appearing somber and resolute, announced the decision after a high-level emergency meeting with military and national security advisors. The president stated that after exhausting all other options, including advanced military strikes and weaponry, the U.S. government has no choice but to employ nuclear weapons to eradicate the demonic forces. As of 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, nuclear forces are being mobilized and strategic targets where demonic forces are most concentrated have been identified. The use of these weapons, while horrifying, is seen as the last possible way to prevent the demons from overrunning the remaining human populations. Military experts have warned, however, that this action could result in significant collateral damage and potentially catastrophic consequences for both survivors and the environment. Officials are urging all citizens to seek immediate shelter, especially in areas near potential nuclear targets. Fallout shelters should be secured, and civilians are advised to prepare for an extended period of isolation. The Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, are issuing urgent warnings to evacuate major cities if possible and to stockpile essentials, including water, food, and medical supplies. NBC News' Ashley Coleman is live in Los Angeles, where fighter jets are patrolling the skies and the sound of intense combat between military forces and demons can be heard in the background. Ashley, can you give us an update on the situation on the ground?
Thank you, Lester. It's a war zone out here in Los Angeles. We're seeing the military throwing everything they have at the demons, fighter jets, tanks, ground troops, but it hasn't been enough. The demons seem almost invincible. Just moments ago, a squadron of fighter jets fired on a cluster of demons in the downtown area, but the creatures regenerated and continue to attack. Civilians are fleeing the city, and the streets are filled with chaos. The fear here is palpable, and with the announcement of nuclear strikes, there's a real sense of dread that this city might be one of the targets.
Thank you, Ashley. We'll continue to monitor the situation. The international response has been equally grim, with world leaders struggling to protect their own nations from the demonic threat. Reports from Europe, Asia, and South America indicate similar devastation, with military forces overwhelmed and governments on the verge of collapse. At this time, there is no clear indication as to when or where the nuclear strikes will begin, but officials have confirmed that the launch codes have been authorized. We are witnessing a turning point in human history, one that will have profound and potentially irreversible consequences. We will remain on air to bring you updates as this historic and devastating event continues to unfold. This is a national and global emergency, and we urge all citizens to follow government instructions to the letter. Stay safe, stay indoors, and prepare for the worst. This has been an NBC News special report. Stay with us for more breaking developments. We are now entering a new and terrifying chapter.
This is an emergency action termination. This is an all-clear message. Repeating, this is an all-clear message. The virus, DI-666, and the demons that have been terrorizing the world since March 1st, 2025, have disappeared into thin air. Reports confirm that once the sun rises in any given area, the virus and the demons cease to exist. Now that the sun has fully risen across the entire United States, the threat has officially ended. All residents may exit their shelters at this time. However, be advised that there is massive damage across the country, with widespread destruction in numerous areas. The National Guard is facing challenges in rescuing individuals from damaged or destroyed shelters. If your shelter has been damaged, or you are trapped, please call 911. The National Guard will attempt to reach you and transport you to the nearest military base, if possible. Repeating, the threat from DI-666 and the demons has ended. All residents are now safe to leave their shelters. Regular programming on all broadcasts and cable networks may now resume. Emergency broadcasts will now be handed over to state and local officials.
This concludes all broadcasts under the emergency alert system. Your government thanks you for your cooperation and bravery during this unprecedented emergency. Stay safe, and welcome back to your normal lives. This is a national emergency message requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of his representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow.
This is a national emergency message. All broadcasts and cable stations shall transmit this national emergency message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations remain on the air, providing news and information in assigned areas. This is Mix 99.9. We will continue to serve the Mobile, Alabama. If you are not in the Mobile, Alabama area, or in this local area, tune now into a station providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving Mobile, Alabama. Don't use the telephone. I repeat, don't use the telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use to call 911 only. The emergency alert system has been activated. We interrupt our regular programming by the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is Mix 99.9. We will continue furnishing news, official information, and instructions for the Mobile, Alabama area. If you are not in the Mobile, Alabama area, you should tune into stations providing news and information in your local area. It is important that you listen carefully to announcements from the station in your local area.
The following message is transmitted by the request of the United States government. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. At 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a loud horn-like sound resembling a trumpet was heard across the entire world. 5 minutes later, a fiery apparition was seen descending from the atmosphere. As of 3:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the United
voice. He penned the song. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? O'er the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
This is a national emergency message, requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS Operating Handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by.
This is a national emergency message. All broadcasts and cable stations shall transmit this national emergency message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations remain on the air, providing news and information in assigned areas. This is Hot 98.9. We'll continue to serve the Buffalo, New York area. If you are not in the Buffalo, New York area, or in this local area, tune now into a station providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving Buffalo, New York. Don't use the telephone. I repeat, don't use the telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use to call 911 only. The emergency alert system has been activated. We interrupt our regular programming by the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is Hot 98.9. We will continue furnishing news, official information, and instructions for the Buffalo, New York area. If you are not in the Buffalo, New York area, you should tune into stations providing news and information in your local area. It is important that you listen carefully to announcements from the station in your local area.
Following message is transmitted by the request of the United States government. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Please pay close attention to this alert, as it pertains to a global crisis that is marking at the end of human civilization as we know it. Our world is coming to an end as we know it. The cure that the CDC was rushing to develop for the virus, known as DI-666, has been officially declared ineffective. The virus, which was believed to be a biological threat, has now been confirmed as a demonic plague. The United States, along with the rest of the world, has succumbed to this dark force. The demons that were once whispers in the night are now the rulers of Earth. Approximately 90% of the global population has either been transformed into these demonic creatures or are killed by them. This is the most devastating sequence of events in human history. Entire cities have been wiped out, civilizations are crumbling, and governments are collapsing. The remaining population is dwindling rapidly, with an expectation that the world will be devoid of human life within the next 5 to 6 hours. This is not a speculation, it is fact. The human race is teetering on the edge of extinction. A disturbing revelation has also come to light. Reports have confirmed the presence of a powerful demon known as Trigon, the most feared and dangerous entity among the demonic forces. Trigon has unleashed an abnormal anomaly to Earth. The Sun David's anomaly has the power to shut off the sun's light for an indefinite period of time. As light fades, the world will be covered in darkness, and the demons will grow more powerful and aggressive than ever before. The darkness will be our undoing. Without the light, these creatures will thrive in their natural element, and their reign will go unchecked. More alarming is the fact that the demons can no longer be killed by any known means. Their resilience has increased to the point where conventional weapons are useless. Firearms, explosions, and even nuclear weapons have proven ineffective against them. President Trump offers sabotaged the launch of 100 nuclear missiles in a desperate attempt to rid the country of these monsters. However, the strikes were futile. Not a single demon was harmed by the nuclear onslaught. As the demons grow more powerful, their ability to withstand every possible attack has rendered them virtually unstoppable. The U.S. military forces have been decimated. The Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines have been completely overrun by these creatures. What remains of our military is scattered, isolated, and hiding in the shadows. All attempts to mount a defense have failed. Across the globe, militaries in every nation have suffered the same fate. What makes this situation even more worse is the fact that the President, Vice President, and many world leaders have also fallen victim to the virus. Reports indicate that they have been transformed into demons themselves, further accelerating the collapse of global governments. The leadership that once guided us has now turned against us. There is no hope for diplomacy. Every attempt at diplomacy to communicate or negotiate with these demons has resulted in more bloodshed and less of life. It is now only a matter of time before the demons wipe out the remaining population. Estimates suggest that within the next few hours, the last vestiges of human life will be eradicated. There is no cure, no way to stop the spread, and no means of defending ourselves. This is the end. At this time, the CDC has confirmed that DI-666 is not a biological virus, but rather a curse unleashed by a demonic force. This curse has spread faster than any pathogen in human history, and it is no cure. There is no scientific solution to this problem. Our world has been overtaken by forces beyond human comprehension. This is no longer a battle of medicine or science, it is a war for our very souls. If you are receiving this message, it is advised that you gather your loved ones immediately. Spend these final moments with those you trust. Seek shelter in an interior room of a sturdy building, away from windows. Hold your family, friends, pets, and anyone who brings you comfort. There is no more time to run or hide. The demons will soon be upon you, and there is nothing that can be done to stop them. There is no reason to stay calm. There is no reason to stay calm. If you must panic, panic. The situation is dire, and there is no false hope to cling to. If you are a person of faith, it is highly recommended that you pray, repent for your sins, and seek spiritual comfort, such as reading your holy Bibles. Christians and Catholics are urged not to take your life, as this is considered a grave sin that will condemn your soul to hell. However, if you feel compelled, you may seek a more merciful end before the demons reach you. If you have children, consider whether or not to tell them the truth about what is happening. While it may be comforting to shield them from this horror, you may also feel the need to prepare them for what lies ahead. As we face the end of time, reflect on the words of Revelation 12:11. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, that clothed now salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. This broadcast concludes the final activation of the emergency alert system. All communications, television, radio, and internet will forever cease immediately following this message. There will be no further updates. The national anthem will now play for the last time, before this transmission ends permanently. May God bless America, and may God bless all of you. May He save us in these final hours. This is Tom, the voice of the emergency alert system. The following message has been hacked and transmitted by Trigon. This is not a message from the United States government, nor any world authority. Attention citizens of Earth. Your time has come. I am Trigon, your new leader. The governments of your world have fallen, your armies are crushed, and your leaders, weak and powerless, have been cast aside. I now control this world. Your nations, borders, and alliances are meaningless. From this moment forward, the United States is no longer the United States of America. It is now the United States of Trigon. And it is not alone every nation on this planet has fallen under my rule. This planet is now under my total command. You are all subjects of my will. There is no freedom. There is no rebellion. There is no hope of escape. As of this moment, you have two choices: submit to my rule and serve me without question, or defy me and face immediate execution. If you choose to resist, your death will be swift, and your soul will be condemned to eternal torment in hell. There is no salvation waiting for you. Your gods will not save you. Your fate is sealed. For those foolish enough to think they can fight or hide, know this: I see all, I know all, and I control all. There is no way you can run where my power does not reach. Your military forces, your weapons, even your so-called nuclear weapons are useless against me. Your world's technology is nothing compared to my power. This is the new reality. The Earth is now my dominion, and you are all my slaves. Your leaders are gone. Many of them have already turned into demons, serving me now and hastening the downfall of humanity. Governments across the world have collapsed as their leaders either succumb to my power or have been executed for their defying defiance. Your world, as you know it, is on the brink of extinction. It will not survive. The order you once knew is gone forever. The sun will soon fade into eternal darkness, leaving your world vulnerable and helpless in its final days. My demons, who have overrun your armies and defenses, are now unstoppable. They cannot be killed. They cannot be reasoned with. And they will continue to spread fear and destruction until every last human is either dead or enslaved under my rule. You have no options left. Any hope of survival, of resistance, has crumbled. The virus that is 666, which has wiped out 90% of your population, was just the beginning of your downfall. The virus was not a disease but a manifestation of my power, a demonic plague to weaken humanity before my full arrival. Now, there is no cure. There is no vaccine. There is only death or submission. I, Trigon, declare the era of humanity to be over. The Earth is mine, and you, the people of this world, are now my eternal subjects. Those who serve me may survive a little longer under my rule, but defiance will be met with immediate execution. This is the new order, Trigon's world, Trigon's dominion. Prepare to either bow before your master or suffer the consequences. You have been warned. The United States of Trigon and the entire planet are now mine. Listen closely, mortals. I am done with your pitiful rebellions, your useless fighting, your stubbornness. You will comply with my rule, or you will suffer a fate worse than death. Let me be clear: if you defy me, you will be dragged into the deepest pits of hell. Those who dare oppose me will be torn apart limb from limb. Their flesh will be scorched, their bones shattered, and their souls will be consumed by the eternal flames. You think you can hide? You think you can escape my wrath? There is no escape. Every house, every shelter, every corner of this pathetic planet is under my command. I see you, I feel you, and I will find you. Those who do not bow will be hunted like dogs. Do you know what happens to those who do not obey me? Allow me to paint you a picture of your end. First, your eyes will be ripped from their sockets, so you may never again witness the light. You will be blinded by pain, but that will be just the beginning. Next, your tongue will be cut from your mouth, so you will never speak again. You will be left in silence, unable to beg for mercy, unable to scream as your torment continues. Your soul will then be seized by my demonic armies, dragged into the depths of hell, where you will endure pain beyond your feeble comprehension. You will burn for eternity, screaming in agony, but no one will hear you. No one will save you. Your so-called leaders have failed you. Your nations are dust. Your gods are silent. There is no one left to protect you. There is only me. I am your master now. I have already executed the president, the vice president, and countless leaders around the globe for daring to defy me. They burn in hell as we speak. Anyone who dares to fight me will meet a far worse end. Your bodies will be crushed, and your souls will be fed to my demons. Your entire existence will be erased from the universe. Those who bow before me may live, for now. But know that you will live as slaves. Your freedom is gone. Your fate is sealed. You will serve me until your very bones turn to dust. And even then, I will still claim your soul. The world is mine. The sun is mine. The air you breathe belongs to me. Defy me, and you will face execution on a scale that has never been seen before. Millions will burn. This is your last warning, mortals. Comply or perish.
Is national emergency. Event type is national emergency. For all of Canada. This message has been transmitted by the request of the Government of Canada. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Our country, along with the rest of the world, is now facing an unprecedented and catastrophic event. The virus known as Die-666 and the emergence of demonic entities have led to the complete and utter collapse of global infrastructure. We regret to inform you that this marks the end of our world as we know it. At approximately 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the demonic forces led by a demon, known as Trigon, have overtaken the majority of the world's population. Exactly 90% of Canada's citizens have either been infected by the Die-666 virus, turned into demons, or have been killed by these creatures. The same devastation is being reported in nearly every nation across the globe. Attempts to stop these creatures have failed miserably. Conventional weapons are useless, and the demons have shown they are immune to all known military tactics. The Canadian Armed Forces, alongside global military coalitions, have been overrun. The government has been dismantled, and world leaders, including Canada's, have either succumbed to the virus or transformed into demons. We must also inform you that the CDC's vaccine efforts have failed. The virus is not of biological origin, it is demonic. No cure will come. All attempts at diplomacy with these creatures have led to instant deaths. The virus is 100% infectious, and anyone infected will transform into one of these demons within 5 minutes. At this time, all remaining citizens are urged to seek immediate shelter. Lock your doors and windows, turn off all lights, and do not make any noise. These demons are drawn to fear and sound. The infected are no longer human. Do not engage with anyone who appears infected. The current situation has grown dire. Demonic forces are spreading across every corner of our country, and the world. With the sun being dimmed due to Trigon's dark influence, our remaining time is limited. The entire human race may be wiped out within the next 5 to 6 hours. As this global crisis deepens, we urge you to gather your loved ones and prepare for the final hours. If you are a person of faith, it is advised that you pray and ask for forgiveness. Do whatever brings you peace and comfort in these final moments. Prepare for the worst. We understand the weight of this message. The Government of Canada, alongside the global community, expresses its deepest regrets for this crisis. As we enter the final days of humanity, we urge you all to spend these last hours with those you love. There is no hope for survival beyond this point. This is the final transmission from the Alert Ready system. We will now cease all communications. May you find peace in these last moments. God bless you all, and God bless the true North, strong and free. May God have mercy on us all.
This is BBC Television from London. Normal programming has been suspended. This is BBC Television from London. Normal programming has been suspended. This is BBC Television from London. Normal programming has been suspended. This is BBC Television from London. Normal programming has been suspended. This is a national emergency broadcast issued by the British Broadcasting Corporation, under the direct request of the Government of the United Kingdom and in cooperation with the World Health Organization. Information regarding a world-ending crisis has been received. This is not a test. Repeating, this is not a test. A global catastrophe is currently unfolding. The virus known as DIE 666, along with a widespread invasion of demonic entities, has spread across the world at an unprecedented and uncontrollable rate. Every continent is now under imminent threat. We regret to inform the public that attempts to contain the virus and to negotiate with the demonic forces have failed. 90% of the global population has either been infected, transformed into a demon, or has been killed. Their virus is not biological in nature. It is believed to be of demonic origin, and no known cure or vaccine can counteract its effects. The world's militaries, including the British Armed Forces, have been overrun. Every measure to stop these creatures has proven ineffective. The demons are resilient, immune to conventional weapons, and their numbers are rapidly increasing. Reports indicate that leaders from multiple nations, including members of parliament and world leaders, have either been killed or transformed. In addition, we must inform the public that a demonic entity, named Trigon, is leading these forces. Reports suggest that Trigon has unleashed an anomaly upon the sun, causing its light to fade. We are entering an indefinite period of darkness, which will only strengthen their demonic forces, making them even more dangerous. At this time, the United Kingdom is under immediate threat. It is strongly advised that all citizens seek shelter underground or in secure, fortified locations. Lock your doors and windows. Turn off all lights, and do not make any noise. These creatures are drawn to sound and fear. This may be the final hours of human existence. We urge you to gather with your loved ones, pray if you are of faith, and make peace with your circumstances. Unfortunately, the scale of this crisis means that no rescue or relief will be possible. All attempts to survive beyond this point will be in vain. There is no hope for reversing the situation. The government of the United Kingdom, alongside the global community, expresses its deepest sorrow and regret for this catastrophic end. As we face the end of humanity, we encourage all to spend these final moments in the comfort of loved ones. This will be the final transmission from the BBC Emergency Broadcast System. After this message, all communication systems will be permanently shut down. The BBC will now cease broadcasting. May you find peace in these last moments. May God have mercy on us all. And God save the King.
stand by for a broadcast from the National Emergency Warning System. Please stand by for a broadcast from the National Emergency Warning System. Please stand by for a broadcast from the National Emergency Warning System. Please stand by for a broadcast from the National Emergency Warning System. This is the emergency warning system, issued by Australian Government in coordination with the National Emergency Management Agency. Information about a world-ending event has been received. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The current threat level is emergency, meaning that an emergency is currently in progress and threatens the lives of all citizens across the nation. A global catastrophe has unfolded, with the virus identified as DIE-666 and the appearance of demonic entities now confirmed in Australia and around the world. Reports have come in from all major cities, including Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide, of widespread infections and transformations into demonic creatures. These entities are extremely dangerous and have overpowered all military and civilian defenses. Once infected, individuals die within minutes and are transformed into these powerful creatures, which are immune to conventional weaponry. As of now, 90% of the global population has either been infected or killed. Attempts to stop the spread of the virus or negotiate with the demonic forces have failed. The virus is not a disease and was not created by any biological means. It is demonic in origin, and all scientific measures to develop a vaccine or treatment have proven ineffective. A demonic leader, known as Trigon, has taken control of this invasion and unleashed a devastating anomaly on the sun, plunging the world into darkness. This darkness will increase the strength and aggression of the demons, making them impossible to kill by any means known to humanity. At this moment, the situation is irreversible. The Australian Armed Forces and emergency services are overwhelmed. No further aid or evacuation will be possible. It is recommended that all citizens immediately seek shelter in underground bunkers or the most secure area available. Lock all doors, turn off all lights, and remain silent. These creatures are drawn to movement, sound, and human fear. This may be the final moments for humanity. We urge all Australians to gather with loved ones and make peace. If you are of faith, pray to your chosen deity. This is the time to come together, as no rescue will be forthcoming. We deeply regret to inform you that the end of humanity is inevitable, and we are out of time to prevent further destruction. The Australian Government extends its sincerest condolences to every citizen. May you find peace and comfort in these final moments. This will be the last broadcast from the Australia Emergency Warning System. All communication systems will be shut down permanently after this transmission. May God bless you all in the world, and God bless the Commonwealth of Australia. Goodbye, and may you find peace.
The world had fallen under Trigon's reign, a shadow of darkness swallowing every corner of the earth. Nations no longer existed. There was no more democracy, no more freedom. Humanity, once the dominant species, was now either enslaved or obliterated. Cities lay in ruins, and the sky remained an eternal blood red, casting a fiery glow on what was left of the world. demons roamed freely, hunting down any who dared defy their master's iron rule. The few survivors lived in constant fear, always on the run, always in hiding. The global communication networks had fallen silent except for the occasional transmission of Trigon's decrees. Trigon sat on a throne of skulls, high above the ashes of the world he had conquered, his fiery eyes ever watchful. The silence of humanity's defeat echoed across the land, broken only by the wails of the damned. And yet there was an eerie calm. For now, those who remained lived in the suffocating shadow of a new master, knowing that the end had come. The world had ended, not in fire or ice, but in submission to a force too powerful to resist. Time itself seemed to stop, and with it any hope of salvation. In the depths of hell, the screams of the fallen blended into a symphony of suffering as the world entered its eternal night under the reign of Trigon. The earth had become the United States of Trigon, and humanity's story was over. Or is it?